My friends, there comes a time in every person's life when the noise around them gets too loud, when the world demands change, but the mirror demands honesty. That's the moment when you have to stop running from yourself and start running toward the person you were meant to be. You see, too many of us wait for the perfect time, the perfect day, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity before we take control of our lives. But there is no perfect moment. There is only now, and if you don't fix what's broken inside you today, tomorrow may not give you the same chance. We live in a time where distraction is the new addiction. We scroll instead of reflect. We react instead of think. But true strength, real growth, begins when you silence the noise and face your own reflection with courage. Don't blame the world for your wounds. Don't point fingers at the past. The truth is, your healing is your responsibility, because when you fix yourself, when you start walking with discipline, honesty, and self-respect, everything around you begins to change. Fix your mind before you lose your focus. Fix your habits before they harden into regret. Fix your purpose before life fixes it for you. And remember this, it's never too late to start, but one day it will be too late to wait, so rise up. Look within. Start fixing, not because the world expects you to, but because you deserve the best version of you. Real change always begins in silence, not in the noise of applause or the rush of success, but in the quiet, often uncomfortable conversation you have with yourself. Self-reflection is the moment when you stop running from the truth and start walking toward it. It's not about judging yourself harshly or drowning in guilt. It's about being brave enough to see what needs to change. Too many people go through life looking outward, blaming circumstances, relationships, or luck for where they are. When the real answers are waiting inside, the mirror doesn't lie. It reflects who you are, but it also shows who you could become if you had the courage to face your flaws. Self-reflection requires honesty, the kind that doesn't sugarcoat mistakes or hide behind excuses. It means asking yourself the hard questions. Am I living with purpose? Am I giving my best or just going through the motions? Am I proud of the person I am becoming? These questions sting because they reveal the gap between who you are and who you were meant to be. But that sting is good. It's a sign of growth trying to happen. When you begin to reflect deeply, you start to see patterns. You recognize how fear has been holding you back, how comfort has kept you stuck, and how pride has stopped you from learning. You begin to understand that fixing yourself doesn't mean you were broken. It means you've chosen progress over pretending. Every great transformation in life starts with self-awareness. The moment you admit that something isn't right, you've already taken the first step toward making it right. Self-reflection is not a one-time event, it's a daily discipline. It's waking up each morning and asking yourself, what can I do better today? It's catching yourself when anger rises, when laziness whispers, or when ego tries to take over. It's the quiet strength of accountability, holding yourself responsible when no one else is watching. The truth is, if you don't take the time to understand yourself, life will do it for you. Through failure, disappointment, and regret. Reflection gives you control. It lets you learn the lesson before life has to teach it the hard way. And once you begin that journey of honest self-examination, something beautiful happens. You grow lighter. You shed the weight of denial, and you make space for wisdom, clarity, and peace. Because when you truly look within, you don't just see your flaws, you also rediscover your strength. You realize that every mistake has shaped you, every setback has taught you, and every scar has made you stronger. And that's the power of reflection. It doesn't just show you what needs fixing, it reminds you that you have the power to fix it. Too often in life, people wait. They wait for the right moment, the right feeling, the right alignment of stars, as if change requires perfect conditions. But perfection is an illusion that keeps us still while time keeps moving. Waiting for the perfect time to fix your life is like waiting for the tide to stop before you learn to swim. Life will never pause long enough for you to feel completely ready, because growth doesn't come from comfort, it comes from courage. Every day you postpone your own improvement, you surrender a piece of your potential. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and before you know it, the chance has passed. The truth is, the best time to change, to grow, to rebuild is always now. You don't need the right circumstances to begin, you just need the right intention. You just need to decide that you've had enough of living below your potential, enough of chasing distractions, enough of standing still while life moves forward. Many people dream of a new beginning, but hesitate because they fear failing, or they worry about what others will think. They wait until they feel confident, until the fear disappears, not realizing that confidence only grows after you take the first step, not before it. Waiting for fear to fade is waiting forever. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act despite it. And that's what separates those who transform their lives from those who keep dreaming about it. The world around you will never stop changing. Jobs, relationships, opportunities, everything moves with or without you. The only constant you can control is your effort. The longer you delay taking control, the harder it becomes to catch up. What you put off today becomes the habit of tomorrow. Procrastination, in the end, is not just the thief of time, it's the thief of purpose. You may tell yourself, I'll start when I have more time, more money, more clarity, but the people who make real progress are the ones who start with what they have, where they are. They begin imperfectly. They fail, adjust, and move again. They understand that time itself is a currency, and wasting it is the most expensive mistake a person can make. Change doesn't wait for convenience. Growth doesn't ask for permission. The longer you delay self-improvement, the more your habits tighten around you like chains. Each day you hesitate, you reinforce the comfort of your old ways. But each small action you take, no matter how imperfect, builds momentum. And momentum is what turns small steps into transformation. If you want to change your life, don't wait for the perfect sunrise. Start in the dark and trust the light will come. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that the moment you stopped waiting was the moment your life truly began taking responsibility for your life. Is one of the hardest and most powerful decisions you will ever make. It means standing in front of your own truth without hiding behind excuses, without pointing fingers, and without blaming fate. It means saying, no matter what happened to me, I'm still in charge of what happens next. That single shift in mindset can change the entire direction of your life. So many people spend their lives looking outward for someone to blame. Their parents, their boss, the government, the economy, their luck, their past. And yes, life can be unfair. People will hurt you, opportunities will slip away, and circumstances will sometimes crush your spirit. But if you let those things define you, you hand your power over to them. Responsibility is not about denying what hurt you. It's about refusing to let that hurt control you any longer. When you take responsibility, you take your power back, you stop waiting for someone to rescue you, and you start becoming your own solution. You stop saying, I can't because of them, and start saying, I will in spite of them. That's the moment when change becomes possible. Because as long as your happiness depends on someone else, you'll always be waiting for something you can't control. True responsibility is quiet strength. It's not about guilt, it's about ownership. It's the realization that your decisions, not your conditions, shape your destiny. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take, they all add up to the story you're living. You are the author. You can't rewrite the past, but you can choose every line that comes next. When you start living with accountability, something shifts inside you. You begin to see patterns in your life, how certain choices keep leading to the same pain, how fear keeps disguising itself as logic, how procrastination keeps stealing your time. And when you see it clearly, you can't ignore it anymore. You start owning your mistakes not with shame, but with determination. You start saying, yes, I did that. But I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm fixing it. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you have to carry everything alone. It means you recognize your role in every situation, how your reactions, your mindset, your energy contribute to your outcomes. It's a mature kind of strength, the kind that doesn't need validation, only progress. And the more you practice it, the more control you gain over your emotions, your decisions, and your direction. The truth is, blame feels good for a moment, but it keeps you powerless. Responsibility feels heavy at first, but it gives you freedom. Freedom to change, to rebuild, to evolve. You stop waiting for apologies or perfect conditions and instead start creating your own path forward. You realize that no one is coming to fix your life. That's your job, and it's the greatest job you'll ever have. Because once you take full responsibility, no failure can break you, no setback can define you, and no challenge can stop you. You become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you've decided that no matter what happens, you will always choose to rise. Discipline is the quiet force that shapes greatness, while distraction is the soft whisper that destroys it. In today's world, distraction is everywhere, glowing on screens, echoing in notifications, hiding in endless scrolling and instant gratification. We live in an age where attention is the most valuable currency, yet most of us spend it carelessly. Discipline, on the other hand, is what separates those who drift through life from those who build it with purpose. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it's powerful. It's the ability to say no to what feels good in the moment, so you can say yes to what matters in the long run. Every goal, every dream, every transformation begins and ends with discipline. It's the bridge between intention and achievement. You can have the greatest plans, the strongest passion, or the clearest vision, but without discipline, it all fades into wishful thinking. Discipline means showing up when it's hard, working when it's inconvenient, and staying consistent when motivation disappears. It's waking up early when your body begs for sleep, studying when others are relaxing, choosing the gym over comfort, silence over chaos, focus over noise. Distraction feels harmless because it's small, one video, one message, one delay, but over time, it builds walls around your potential. You tell yourself you'll start later, but later becomes never. Each time you give in to distraction, you train your mind to avoid discomfort. You teach yourself that it's okay to settle for less than your best. And that's how dreams die, not in one big failure, but in 1,000 tiny moments of lost focus. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about power. It's not forcing yourself into misery. It's freeing yourself from mediocrity. When you live with discipline, you're not controlled by your impulses anymore. You become the master of your time, your emotions, your habits. You understand that success isn't built on bursts of motivation. It's built on daily repetition. You don't wait to feel ready. You act first and let readiness catch up. The truth is, everyone wants results, but few are willing to endure the process. Discipline is that process. It's the daily decision to do what must be done even when you don't feel like it. It's knowing that your future self will thank you for the pain you endure today. And once you develop that inner strength, distractions lose their power. You stop chasing temporary pleasure and start building permanent progress. Every person you admire, every leader, every artist, every athlete built their success on discipline. They didn't have more time, they simply made better use of it. They didn't have fewer distractions, they just learned to ignore them. They understood that freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from mastering yourself. So, when the world tries to pull you away from your goals, when comfort calls louder than ambition, remember this: distraction gives you an escape, but discipline gives you a future. Each time you choose focus over ease, you sharpen your edge. Each time you say no to temptation, you strengthen your will. Discipline may demand sacrifice, but it rewards you with something far greater: control over your destiny. And in a world that's constantly trying to distract you, that control is the ultimate power. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the slow, steady accumulation of small victories that eventually shape a new version of you. People often look at success, confidence, or change as something dramatic, a single moment of revelation that turns everything around. But the truth is, the most powerful transformations begin quietly, in moments that seem ordinary. It's the decision to wake up a little earlier, to eat better, to read instead of scroll, to forgive instead of argue. These small fixes may seem insignificant on their own, but when done consistently, they create momentum. And momentum is the heartbeat of transformation. Every small action you take builds your future. Brick by brick, the smallest improvement compounds over time, just like interest in a bank account. You may not notice the growth at first. It may even feel like nothing is changing. But beneath the surface, new habits are forming, old patterns are breaking, and your mindset is shifting. One day, you'll look back and realize that all those little efforts you thought didn't matter were actually building the strength, discipline, and resilience that define who you are now. Too many people chase big, sudden change. They want instant results, the perfect body, the dream career, the healed heart. And when progress feels slow, they give up. But real growth isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. You can't rebuild your life in a day, but you can take one meaningful step every day. And when those steps are repeated with patience and purpose, they become unstoppable. Small fixes are powerful because they are sustainable. You can't maintain massive leaps forever, but you can stay consistent with simple actions. A 10-minute workout can become a lifelong fitness habit. Reading a few pages a day can turn into a love for learning. Taking 1 minute to practice gratitude can change your entire perspective on life. The beauty of small steps is that they don't demand perfection, only persistence. Sometimes you won't feel motivated. You won't always see the reward right away. That's where faith in the process matters. Every time you choose progress over procrastination, you're teaching yourself discipline. Every time you choose kindness over anger, you're strengthening your character. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you're building the person you want to become. The truth is, transformation is not a single event, it's a lifestyle. You're always evolving, always learning, always refining yourself. The person you are becoming is hidden in the choices you make when no one is watching. Small, deliberate improvements change how you think, how you act, and how you carry yourself. They sharpen your focus and strengthen your spirit. And when life tests you, when obstacles appear and progress feels impossible, those little habits, those daily efforts, will be the foundation that keeps you standing. Because consistency builds confidence, and confidence builds change. You won't have to tell the world you've transformed. They'll see it in your patience, your poise, and your purpose. So never underestimate the power of small fixes. One good habit can rewrite your future. One small change can shift the course of your life. Growth may not always look dramatic, but it's happening every time you choose to improve, even just a little. Over time, those tiny steps will carry you further than you ever imagined, and that's how small fixes create big transformations. Time is the one thing we can never get back, and yet it's the thing we waste the most. People tell themselves they have plenty of time to change, to heal, to chase their dreams, to make things right. But time doesn't wait. It keeps moving forward silently, steadily, without mercy or pause. Each day that passes without action is a day you'll never see again. And one day you'll wake up and realize that the chances you thought you had forever are gone. That's why you must act before it's too late. There is always this illusion that tomorrow will be easier, that next week you'll feel ready, that someday you'll have the energy, the confidence, or the perfect plan. But someday is not a real day. It's a comfortable lie we tell ourselves to justify waiting. And every time you say not yet, life quietly takes something from you. Your energy, your time, your opportunities. Waiting doesn't protect you from failure. It guarantees regret. Acting before it's too late means understanding that your window for change is open now. Every breath you take, every sunrise you see is an opportunity, and opportunities expire. You can rebuild, you can recover, but you cannot rewind. The people you love, the dreams you hold, the version of yourself you want to become, all of them depend on the decisions you make in the present, not in some distant future. It's easy to tell yourself that you're too busy, too tired, too uncertain. But the truth is, no one is ever completely ready to start. The courage to act doesn't appear first. It's built through action. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you teach yourself that fear is temporary, but regret lasts forever. You may fail, you may stumble, but even failure teaches you something that waiting never will. Life will not pause while you figure things out. Time will keep moving, and opportunities will pass to those who are willing to act. One day you'll wish you started earlier, started learning, started forgiving, started believing in yourself. That day of realization will come, and when it does, you'll understand that hesitation costs more than failure ever could. The harsh truth is that time doesn't give second chances easily. You don't get to relive your 20s, your 30s, your moments of strength or clarity. The energy you have today will not always be there tomorrow. The people you care about today may not be around forever. Life keeps changing, and if you don't move with it, you'll be left behind wondering where all that time went. Acting now doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. It just means you start imperfectly, fearfully, but sincerely. You take the first step toward your goals, your healing, your growth. You fix what you can today because tomorrow isn't promised. The clock doesn't stop ticking because you're afraid. It doesn't slow down because you're unsure. It keeps moving, and so must you. Those who succeed, those who truly live, are the ones who learn to value time, who understand that every minute spent waiting is a minute that could have been spent building, learning, or loving. They act while others hesitate. They decide while others doubt. They move while others dream. And that's why their lives change. If there's something you know you need to do, a call to make, a habit to break, a dream to chase, don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is this one, because while you hesitate, life doesn't. Act before it's too late, not because time is running out, but because your future is waiting for you to begin. So as you stand here today, remember this: life is not waiting for you to be ready. It's happening right now, in this very moment. Every second that passes is a chance either wasted or seized. You can keep looking back, blaming what broke you, or you can start building what will heal you. You can keep waiting for permission, or you can decide that today is the day you take control. Fix yourself, not because the world demands perfection, because you deserve peace. Not because others expect it, but because your future self is calling, asking you to rise. The power to change has always been in your hands. The choice to begin has always been yours. So don't let another sunrise pass without purpose. Don't let another day end with regret. Stand tall, look within, and make the promise to yourself, from this moment forward, I will not wait for tomorrow to do what I can do today. Because one day, when you look back, you'll realize that this very moment was the one where everything began to change.